Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go over Google Docs shortcuts. These are the shortcuts that are a little bit less common and have saved me a ton of time over the years, and I thought they might be useful for you. So whether or not you're a writer, a blogger, author, or you just use Google Docs for research, I think you're going to get a lot out of this. So let's get started. Okay, so this is our agenda here. And the first shortcut here are using docs and sheets.new. So all you need to do to use this shortcut is to go to a new tab on pretty much any Chromium based browser. So of course Chrome, and if you use Arc, which is another popular browser, you're going to be able to do this shortcut. So the first thing is you need to be logged into your Google account for this to work. And then all you need to do is for example, if you're doing docs, you would do docs.new. And what that's going to do is open a brand new document right into your Google Drive that you are signed into, which is why you need to be signed in for it to work. And you're basically ready to go. So traditionally in Drive, you would have to go into Drive, then you'd have to go highlight docs and then blank document. So that shortcut basically removes all of that time. So, I don't know about you, but I use Google Docs quite often. So if I'm in a meeting, it's really easy for me to just pop open a new tab and then just go docs.new and I'm ready to take notes. And then I can just come up and clean up the notes later. And then as soon as you type something, and then if you rename it, if you come back to My Drive, then just do a quick refresh, you'll see that this note is, or this doc is saved. So it's automatically saved in Drive. It does save it right to the root. So if you happen to have a folder, it's not going to magically appear in the folder that you want. There's no way to actually force it into there easily, but you can just come here and organize it every once in a while if you're creating a lot of documents. One of the other features of this is that if you do open a document, so if I go docs.new and then I decided, oh, actually I don't need to do this, you can just close the tab and it doesn't actually create a new file in your Google Drive. So you don't have to worry about basically creating a bunch of extra files that you don't need. The similar shortcut is if you do Sheets. So my second most used app is basically Google Sheets, and so I use this shortcut. It's the exact same rules as Google Docs. And then finally, you can do slides.new if you do a lot of presentations, and you're basically going to get all of the value out of those three shortcuts in the same way. So I'm just going to close this up a little bit. And okay, so the next one is show word count. So the manual way to do this, if you don't know where it is you can go to Tools, you can go to word count, and what I like to do is display the word count so that it shows up down here. And this is helpful simply because if you're trying to hit a word target, or you just want to know how many words a particular paragraph is, you can just highlight it and it will also count for you. If you have nothing highlighted, it will just count the entire document word count. And so the feature itself is just really handy, but I use it pretty much every day. So the shortcut for that is Control++C on PC and Command++C on Mac to get it to show up. And because when you do use the shortcuts, you get a lot of extra information here. So it's like pages, words, characters, etc. So more than just the word count itself. The next one is to repeat the last command. So this can be used in a variety of ways, but the way that I use it the most is to modify headers and to also change the text casing. So I'll go over both of these kind of together. So typically in a document, you're going to have like one header one, you'll have an H2, and then you'll maybe have a couple H3s under that particular header. And so normally when you want to change your text to a header, you would just click on the line, you would go here and select heading 1 and apply. So that's the manual way to do it. The headers themselves have shortcuts, so if you just highlight over it, you can always see what the shortcut is. But what I typically like to do is update all the headers at the same time. So what I would do is I would do So header, because typically there's only one header 1, so we wouldn't do that again. But if I want to repeat header 2, so I'm going to highlight the line. I'm going to go to header 2. I'm going to apply, and then I'm going to do this repeat last command, which is control+Y for PC and command+Y for Mac. So all I need to do is command Y, and it'll give me basically the repeat of the last command. And because this is another header 2, I'm going to skip down here, and I'm going to go command Y again to do that. And now we're on header 3s. And so I'm going to do header 3 manually once, and then because Google Docs knows that was the last command, I can just highlight over here and command Y again. So as you can see, it's building out my outline here, and you can see how helpful this can be if you have upwards of like 30 headers. We're only using like 6 headers here, but when you are getting up to a very large amount, it makes it much faster. So another way that I use the repeat last command is by changing the title casing for my headers. So some writing guidelines require that this is title case. Some require that it's sentence case, which is how it is right now. So if you want to quickly update this to title case, you would highlight the line, and then you would go to Format, Text, Capitalization, and then do title case, which is a lot of steps to, just get capital on your titles. And so I would like to not do that all over again for, 20 different headers. So what I can do is I can highlight the next one and then do Command Y to repeat the last command. And as you can see, it is basically repeating the last command. So that's how I use repeat last command and changing title casing together. The next shortcut, so adding a hard page break. So sometimes if you are writing and maybe your paragraph gets cut and you would like it to all just be together on the same page, you can just hit a return to get a new line. And then what I do is command return, and that'll just push all the text to the next page. I believe for PC it is control+enter. And so that is really helpful if you're just kind of moving text around to the next page quickly. Adding space after paragraphs. So this example here, you'll see that there are, it may be difficult to see, but there are actually 3 paragraphs here. So there's one right here, and there's one right here, and then the first one. And so what is really helpful is if you highlight basically your entire article, but I'm just doing this as an example. And what you do is highlight, and then you want to click this shortcut here, and you want to do add space after paragraph. And that will break up the text so that when you have hard returns, it's just easier to read. Otherwise, everything gets bunched up. You'll notice that some of these word processing optimizers will have a built-in like spacing, which is great. So example here. So every time I do a return, you'll see there's an extra space here. Again, that's great. But sometimes when you paste this into the Word document itself, it won't necessarily have that space with it. It just depends on which type of optimizer you're using when you're writing articles. Okay, so the next one is putting quotes inside a Google Doc. So I find this is a little bit difficult. So I'm actually going to do my shortcut to move this down so I have more space. And I'm going to move this down just so we're isolating here. So quotes in articles. So a quick thing about dashes. So if you want to get like super nerdy about dashes, there are actually 3 types. There's the M dash, there's the N dash, and there's a hyphen. The hyphen being the minus sign right next to the plus sign that people are used to using. And so actually each dash has a different reason to use it. But in quotes, you actually need to use the M dash. But because as far as I know, Google Docs doesn't actually have a quote like type, so you can't, there's no shortcuts to automatically make this look. So to make a quote, you would simply just paste your quote in there, and you want to put your cursor basically on the paragraph that you want to move, and then you just want to move this over, and that'll give you that little indent. And that doesn't affect anywhere else, because when I click everywhere else, it should be back on my half-inch marker. But this is how you basically move it in. And then if you put a return, it should keep it within this paragraph. And so now what you want to do is an M dash. And for me, it's going to be the Option Shift hyphen, which is going to give me that really long M dash. And then, as it says down there, person who said the quote. And that's how you would do a quote inside a Google Doc. Or at least that's how I'm doing it. There might be a better way. If there is, just put in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys are coming up with. Forcing copy of document. Okay, so sometimes when you're sharing your documents, you don't want people constantly requesting for edit access. So there's a couple ways you can deal with this. Either you can just share it as a, so you need to change the general restriction to view only. Okay. And so if you don't want them editing it, then just leave it on view only, and then you just share the copy link. But if you don't want constantly people, requesting edit access, what you can do is first you turn on the sharing, so that it's viewer at least. Don't copy this link, but basically you just come up to your browser over here and change the URL from edit to copy, and then you copy this onto your clipboard, and this is actually the link that you share. And so if we go here, I'm gonna do this again, and when I press enter, you'll see that so in this particular tab, I'm signed into a different user. If you're signed into the same user, it will just show you the document because you own the document. But if you share this link and you basically just change it from edit to copy, then they will get this prompt instead. And so it'll basically say, hey, would you like to copy this document name? And they just click make a copy. So on their end, though, they actually need to be logged into their Google account as well. Because when you copy the document, again, it has to go somewhere. So they need to be logged into Google in order to basically take advantage of this feature. So that's how you force someone to copy the document. And I'll give you guys access to this doc later as well. Maybe I'll force copy. But yeah, so forcing copy is just basically changing from edit to copy. And I just put this example here. Okay, back to the top. Okay, how to find, so that's basically it for all the common shortcuts that I use, but chances are your workflow is going to be slightly different. And so this is how you actually find shortcuts on your own. So if you go over here to help, there is a keyboard shortcuts option. And if you open this up, you can actually search for the particular shortcut that you want. Now, the only limitation to this are a couple things is you need to know exactly what you're looking for. So if you have a feature that you don't actually know what the name of it is, then it's going to be difficult to use this feature. So for example, if I didn't know it was word count, I wouldn't be able to find this. So count words, and this happens to have the exact, correct text. But if I just took away this space, it'll say that there is no shortcut called word count. So, the syntax really matters. And so that really is the only downside, is that you do need to know what the name of the feature is called. And worst case scenario, you can Google it, Google Doc, whatever your thing you're looking for, and then shortcut. And then, and then that's pretty much it. I've been able to get by with basically these shortcuts, and it makes my word processing flow, at least 30% faster every article that I make, just by implementing these. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know what you guys are using for shortcuts, and put it in the comments and let me know, and we'll see you in the next video.